in just a bit, dozens of people gathered in front of Kabul, Chaman, once again can be seen hoisting the national flag. And yes, that's exactly the kind of sentiment that we've been talking about, and we're discussing here, that there are people who are still taking to streets to protest against the Taliban rule. Dozens of people you can see on your television screens who are protesting against Taliban, who are hoisting the national flag. Today, of course, marks the 102nd anniversary of Independence Day as well in Afghanistan. And interestingly, today is when Taliban is declared an Islamic Emirate as well. So, interesting developments coming in. General Gurmeet Singh also continues to be with us. But these are the visuals that explain the sentiment on ground of what is it that a common Afghani civilian is feeling, is going through. Of course, we're talking about the anti-Taliban movement as well in Panjshir, which is being led by Ahmad Massoud, and also the former vice president, who is also the acting caretaker president, Amrullah Saleh, who's in fact made it very clear that we should at no cost obey Taliban Emirates. So back-to-back visuals coming in of how several are taking to streets. Yesterday itself, we put out visuals from Jalalabad, where, of course, when you saw some of the youngsters there hoisting the Afghani flag, it did come in with a little bit of a follow-up with Taliban people targeting some of those youngsters. They were attacked. Some of the journalists were also thrashed. But once again, citizens protesting against Taliban rule. They've been sloganeering against the Taliban. They've been waving their flags. So that's the sentiment really on ground. This also comes at a time when, remember, we're talking about several political meetings also taking place parallelly. But at the same time, at a time when Taliban is pledged to create an open and inclusive government after it took over Kabul, several observers still fearing little has changed in 20 years and expect the swift return of repressive theocratic rule in Afghanistan. Because remember, everything that we've been seeing ever since Taliban took over Kabul is a reminder of what Taliban was 20 years back as well. Of course, it's been ruling some of the pockets in Afghanistan these 20 years as well. But a grim reminder really of what is it that Taliban believes in. Let me now go across to Major General K.K. Sinha, who is also with us on this broadcast. General Sinha, this in itself, the kind of resistance we're seeing, not just militarily, if we talk about what's going on in Panjshir, but also several common Afghani civilians taking to streets, still waving their flags. It speaks volumes of how these people have tasted freedom, and they want that freedom back. They don't want to surrender to the Taliban, sir.
Development which has taken place, actually no one thought that it will happen, and the credit goes to Abdullah Saleh. He has been a fighter. We know that with Ahmad Shah Massoud, he has been, under him, he has been a guerrilla fighter. And most important than, he is the man who actually, started the intelligence service in Afghanistan, and he was heading that. That is National Directorate of Security, NDS. And he is totally against Pakistan, ISI, a fighter. And what we are seeing in Panjshir, it is now spreading and proliferating in other areas. We have seen in Jalalabad. Some informations are coming from the Kunduz. Something is coming from the Iran, border of Iran. So things are happening. And I think it is required that the world supports it. The problem lies, as on today, that more willy-nilly, I think the world has accepted that, Taliban will put, and America has to be blamed. Because from 2018 onwards, the Mullah Bradar, when he was released from Pakistan jail, it was from Pakistan side who played the game, American fallen for it, and more or less they have agreed. So it is just unrolling things, the way it is happening, in spite of the fact that, the Taliban has not changed anything. They are they're showing their true color, amount of violence which is there. So we have to, see that, and mid-course corrections, especially United States of America has to take it. There are some indications basically the Facebook tutors and Canada, UK, there is a resistance coming that they are not going to recognize Taliban. If America gets into it, because there is some indications are coming from Blinken that if they behave, probably America will jump into, to support and recognize Taliban, because they have initiated this. It is all doing of Americans. They brought the Taliban back, to whom they have gone against it when they came in 2001. The same Taliban is coming back, and the man who is coming back, he was one of the co-founder of Taliban.
General Sinha, we've also been talking about Pakistan's role all throughout these past few days with Taliban taking over and finally the climax, coming in from Kabul. But, sir, we talk about it in detail. Pakistan, though, we all know, is seeing this as an opportunity, seeing Afghanistan as a strategic partner in its conflict with India. But this don't you think, could also be a concern, and they should be worried about this as well? Because, in a sense, we can say that Pakistan's calculus towards Taliban could prove dangerously misguided as well. It could embolden some of the terror elements there, extremist groups in Pakistan itself.
Absolutely right. You see, it is going to, Pakistan will get they will get the punishment of what they have done, this unholy actions. See, there is not only Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which is, Fakir Muhammad, if you recall, about 3 days back from Kandahar jail, his supporters have already released, got him released. And he is, moving towards basically Balochistan. Even there were reports that, they are going to target the nuclear facilities of Pakistan. So Tehreek-e-Taliban is one faction. There are other factions also, which is, coming in very heavily to Pakistan. Even Taliban, Taliban, if you say they're the stooge of Pakistan, but they are going to, because they have been giving a very mixed signal. When the things will go wrong, especially with the way they are thinking that money will be pumped in from the China side, if the Russia pulls its hand back, if the Iran puts its hand back, because basically these people were there to show the Americans that, to put up a very, they wanted to defeat America. That's why probably Iran has also joined in. They wanted to show to, in a very bad light. That's why the whole thing, which has been stage managed, it has been a more or less a coup, on which everyone is to be, there, who supported, Pakistan as a frontline state, and the Pakistan has done it. So Pakistan is sitting absolutely on the razor edge, and it is going to bounce back. You are absolutely right in this.
Absolutely. We have Colonel Rohit Dev also joining us on the phone line. Colonel Dev, we've been talking to some of our defense experts there, and we've of course been weighing in on what this could mean for Pakistan as well, which at the moment is elated, is looking at this as a strategic partnership between Pakistan and Afghanistan that could benefit them when it comes to their conflict with India. But it could also have consequences, serious consequences. This step could backfire. It could embolden some of the terror outfits there, extremist groups there. But, if we talk about the resistance that we are seeing in Afghanistan itself, that also speaks volumes of how this in itself is a shift from what the Afghanis did back then, when Taliban 1.0 took over, and what they're doing now. They're actually stepping up. They've tasted freedom. They want their country back. They want to not go back in time.
Right. So let me put it this way. What you see in Khost, Jalalabad and Kabul today, these 2 decades have raised the aspirations of the Afghanis in that part of AFAC region and Afghanistan per se. And it has given them a very nice dream to look up to. When 1.0 happened, there were hardly any dreams and they were shattered human souls in Afghanistan. Today you have aspiring souls. And what that does is that while they all thought there will be a transition with the US pullout, nobody would have fathomed in the larger majority in Afghanistan that they will be faced with the brutality of the Sharia being imposed on them. And that is where you saw even yesterday, 4 young girls or middle-aged girls or ladies or women standing on the streets and protesting, and Taliban operatives moving there with their guns and unable to do what they wanted to do. And that is the way a society has transformed in Afghanistan. And I see it as an analyst as a big, big opportunity. So contrary to those naysayers who are talking on even our TV channels here in India to say India lost the strategic depth in Afghanistan, I think we have done exceedingly well in the current government and also the previous one as well, because at no point of time did we commit boots on ground. Whatever reasons, right or wrong, is a separate debate I can do on a military platform. But here, it has come to our advantage. So we are somebody today in the world who has not imposed a military will, who has not conducted suicide missions, but only done infrastructure development. So this is a spark which India must exploit
Absolutely
to the hilt and to our advantage to negate the Pakistan, terror effect or the...
Colonel Rohit, as of now, India seems to be in a little bit of a wait and watch, but let's see how this unfolds. Right now, India's priorities lie in just bringing back our people at the earliest. But yes, if we go by these visuals, these people do not want to see what they saw under old Taliban. They saw persecution, sometimes, killings of ethnic minorities. Women were barred from attending schools, from working, and they don't want a rerun of that. We keep our focus on that. Colonel Rohit Dev, thank you for speaking to us. Slipping to a very short break here on Republic TV.